All throughout history, one of the prevalent issues in the world has been natural resources, specifically crude oil. Wars have been won over it, wars have been decided over it. Recently, cost of fuel and crude oil has gone higher, and so the need for more fuel-efficient vehicles has become a bigger need. One vehicle that has maintained its high fuel efficiency throughout its time from inception to current is the Mini. My name is Charles Fisher, and I'm here to talk to you about the history of the Mini. Now, the original Mini was actually not called the Mini. The original Mini was actually called the Austin 7. Now, the Austin 7 was out on the market, and there was another vehicle out on the market, right? And it was called the Minor. Now, the Minor is the Latin word for small. So, Sir Alec Isagoras, the creator of the Mini, wanted to change his name to basically mean smallest, which is minimus in Latin. Later, it was shortened to Mini, and in 1962, all the way through 1967, the name eventually merged, and all of the vehicles in the Austin 7 line became Minis. Now, originally it wasn't called the Mini Cooper. All right, and I'll explain that here in just a minute. But it all started with the Mini. All right, things that all started with the Mini, things like front-wheel drive suspension. Most people don't realize that the first front-wheel drive suspension vehicle was actually a Mini, or the original Austin 7 Mark I. Additionally, they were the first ones to mount the radiator behind the engine rather than front, which is actually a standard design on most smaller vehicles and almost all European cars now. Now, from 1959 to 1994, the Mini transformed all the way from the Mark I to the Mark 7. And in 1994, it started to go through a change. And that change was basically the different package options that could be created. Now, originally the car was designed as a passenger car, and in the 60s it was extremely popular. But another interesting thing happened to it. A driver named John Cooper, who was a rally car driver, got behind the wheel of the Mini and started driving it. And he found it had excellent response and excellent handling, and the reason for that is because they pushed the wheels all the way to the extreme edges of the vehicle, and they turned the engine sideways, allowing more room inside. Now, Mr. Cooper enjoyed the vehicle so much that he actually went to the drawing board with Sir Alec Isagoras and created what we know now as the Mini Cooper and the Mini Cooper S. Those were the two biggest variants that he had an effect on. Now, when Mr. Cooper took over and he started to basically revamp the design, he created a rally car, a sport car. Mini wanted to continue on its passenger car, so it started creating things like the Clubman and other models. Now, the reason that 1994 is significant is in 1994, BMW, Bavarian Motor Works, came in and bought Mini along with the Rover Corporation, which created things like the Land Rover, the Range Rover, and the MG. Now, in 2000, Rover was dropped by BMW because it was basically a money hole. And so then BMW took over. And that's the next part, is the development of the Mini past since BMW. Now, BMW at first laid out the new Mini, which went from capital M, lowercase I-N-I, to all capital M-I-N-I, to rename the brand to be one of their own. They unveiled it in the Paris Car Show in October of 1999. And when they did, they had a huge response because it was a modern car with a retro feel. And what that means is they kept all of the original looks that they possibly could. That you see here. You see I'll have the circular headlights, the slanted front, the slat front, the white roof, the mounts in the same spot for the windows. And he tried to recreate all of those things into the new Mini. And from 1994 on, it became the brand that we know today. And now you see mostly Mini Cooper and Mini Cooper S's on the front. In conclusion, even though much has changed in the automotive industry, the Mini Cooper has still stayed true form, and has still become still has stayed one of the most fuel-efficient vehicles